Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. It's going to be a good one. We're taking a look at Du silence à l'action, le chemin du succès, l'étonnement de la réussite.
Okay, that's
It's a mouthful, right?
yeah, it is.
It's by NGAMBELE. But trust me, the ideas inside are so worth exploring.
Oh, I'm sure.
You ready to ditch the procrastination and actually, get things done?
I think we all need a little push sometimes, right?
Totally. And there's this quote NGAMBELE uses from Jane Austen that really sums it up. It is not what we say or think that defines us, but what we do.
That's good.
I know, right? So that's kind of our mission today, figuring out why action is so important and how to break free from waiting for that perfect moment.
Well, the book starts off strong, and Gambale just comes right out and says, knowledge without action is useless.
Oh, wow. So no sugarcoating.
Nope, straight to the point. It made me think of all those webinars I've watched. You know, take notes, get all inspired, and then nothing.
Oh, tell me about it. I have notebooks full of business plans and story ideas, but the actual businesses, the finished stories, not so much. What does NGAMBELE say we should do instead?
Well, he tackles this whole idea of waiting for the right time. You know, I'll start when things calm down at work, or I'll travel the world when the kids are older.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. I'm a pro at waiting for that magical day when everything aligns perfectly.
He says that day never comes. There are always going to be deadlines, family stuff, things that come up. So if we wait for the stars to align, we'll be waiting forever.
Okay, so no more waiting for the right time. Got it. But how do we actually get ourselves to, do the thing, especially when it's so easy to just stay on the couch?
NGAMBELE uses this analogy. Imagine trying to get from point A to point B, but there are all these obstacles in the way. You don't know if you'll overcome them or even if you'll reach your destination, but you can't just stand at point A forever, can you?
So the first step is literally just taking a step, even if you don't know where you'll end up.
Exactly. And that's where his personal story comes in. He was stuck at point A for years. All these incredible ideas, even financial projections for future businesses. But he wasn't actually doing anything to make them happen, just dreaming.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how did he finally get unstuck?
Yeah. Did he have some sort of epiphany?
It wasn't really an epiphany, more like a conscious decision to shift from dreaming to doing. He stopped overthinking and just started taking action, even if it felt messy or uncertain at first.
So it's not about having the perfect plan. It's about just starting.
Exactly. And he's really big on not letting fear of failure hold you back.
That's a tough one for a lot of people.
I know, but he actually makes a really compelling argument. He says failure can be a valuable learning experience.
Interesting. So it's like those mistakes actually help you figure things out.
Exactly. He talks about the study they did with entrepreneurs.
Oh, entrepreneurs. That's interesting.
Yeah, so there were these two groups. One group was super focused on planning, perfecting their business plans, analyzing every detail.
Oh, the overthinkers. I know the type.
Right. They wanted everything to be perfect before they even launched.
I can relate to that for sure.
But then the other group, they were all about action. They were launching their ideas, testing things out, getting feedback, and making changes as they went.
So more of a learn-by-doing approach.
Exactly. And you know what? The action takers ended up being way more successful.
Really? Even though they probably made more mistakes in the beginning?
Yeah, but they learned from those mistakes and adapted way faster.
That's so interesting. It kind of goes against what we're often told, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need to have it all figured out before we take the leap.
Exactly. And NGAMBELE really challenges that mindset. He says, what if we embraced the wrong as part of the process?
So instead of seeing mistakes as failures,
we see them as opportunities to learn and improve.
I like that shift in perspective. It takes the pressure off a bit,
He even has this exercise that he calls it the fear flip.
The fear flip with that.
So you write down all those fears that are holding you back. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? All that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I have a whole list of those.
Right. And then you flip each one into a question. What if I am good enough? What if I succeed? It's about shifting your focus from what you're afraid of to what you might achieve.
It's like reframing those negative thoughts into something more empowering.
Exactly. And it can really help you break through that initial inertia and get moving.
Okay. I'm definitely trying the fear flip. But what about those days when even a small step feels overwhelming? When you just don't have the energy to do anything.
He talks about that too. He calls it cultivating a bias toward action.
A bias toward action.
It's like a mindset shift. It's not about becoming some kind of productivity robot. It's about making small, consistent choices that align with your goals.
So it's about building momentum.
Exactly. And he has a few suggestions for how to do that. One is to surround yourself with people who are already doing the things you want to do.
Find your tribe right.
Exactly. Their energy and their actions can be really contagious.
I've definitely noticed that. Like if you're around people who are always talking about their goals and taking steps to achieve them, it rubs off on you.
He also talks about the importance of celebrating your wins no matter how small.
Oh, I like that. It's so easy to focus on what we haven't done yet.
Right. But acknowledging those small victories can really boost your motivation.
It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back for making progress.
Exactly. He even suggests keeping a victory log.
A victory log.
Yeah, like a journal where you write down all the small wins you achieve each day.
Ooh, I like that idea. It's like a visual reminder of all the things you've accomplished.
And it can help you stay focused on the positive and keep moving forward.
Okay, I'm sold on the victory log. Hearing all this, it's making me think about some of my own goals. I've been wanting to write a screenplay for ages.
Oh, that's cool.
I've taken courses, read books. I've even outlined a few ideas, but I've never actually sat down and, written the thing.
It sounds like you've taken some great steps already.
I guess so. Maybe I haven't been giving myself enough credit for the progress I have made.
It's easy to get caught up in what we haven't done yet, but it's important to acknowledge the steps we have taken.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe instead of focusing on the fact that I haven't finished a full screenplay yet, I can celebrate the fact that I've taken those courses and written those outlines.
Exactly. Those are victories worth celebrating,
Yeah.
even if they don't feel like huge accomplishments.
Okay, I'm feeling a shift in perspective already.
Yeah.
Maybe those small victories will give me the confidence and the motivation to finally sit down and write that first scene.
I think so. It's all about taking those small steps and building momentum.
This deep dive is really lighting a fire under me. I'm curious, what else does NGAMBELE talk about in the book? Are there any specific strategies for overcoming procrastination?
He does. He has a whole chapter dedicated to what he calls the 10 laws of success.
The 10 laws of success. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, they're basically 10 principles for taking action and achieving your goals.
Mhm.
And one that really stood out to me was the law of imperfect action.
The law of imperfect action. What's that all about?
It's the idea that action doesn't have to be perfect to be effective. We often get stuck waiting for the perfect plan or the perfect moment, but in reality, perfection is often the enemy of progress.
So it's better to take imperfect action than to wait for perfect inaction.
Exactly. He encourages us to embrace the messy, the uncertain, the good enough. He says, don't let the pursuit of perfection paralyze you. Take action, learn, adjust, and keep moving forward.
I love that. It's so freeing to think about action in that way. It takes the pressure off.
He even has this exercise for putting it into practice. He calls it the minimum viable action.
The minimum viable action. Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
So you take your big goal, and instead of getting overwhelmed, you just ask yourself, what's the smallest thing I can do right now to move forward?
So it's like breaking it down into a tiny, manageable step.
Exactly. And that one small action can be enough to get you unstuck.
It's like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Exactly. Just focus on that first step.
I like that. So it's not about the size of the action, it's about the act of taking action.
Right. He says, don't underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. Over time, they can lead to extraordinary results.
This is giving me so many ideas. We've talked about taking action, breaking down goals, challenging those negative thoughts. But for our listener out there, what's one small step they can take today toward a goal they've been putting off?
It could be anything, something related to their work or their personal life, their health.
Right, it doesn't have to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
Just something to get the ball rolling.
Exactly. The important thing is to take action, even if it feels small or insignificant at first.
It's about shifting from procrastination to action. And sometimes all it takes is that one tiny step.
And NGAMBELE also talks about these energy leaks.
Energy leaks, what are those?
They're things that drain our energy and motivation. Things like negative self-talk, clutter, even spending too much time on social media.
Oh yeah, I can see how those things can really zap your energy.
It's like they're creating this invisible drag on our productivity. And he has some tips for plugging those leaks. One is to create a distraction-free zone.
Like a dedicated workspace where you can really focus.
Exactly. Turn off your phone, close your email, eliminate any distractions.
I've tried that. And it's amazing how much more I can get done when I'm not constantly being interrupted.
He also talks about being mindful of our energy levels throughout the day.
Like noticing when you're most productive and scheduling your most important tasks for those times.
Right. And taking breaks when you need them. Even a 5-minute walk can make a difference.
I've definitely found that to be true. Taking breaks actually helps me focus better when I come back to my work.
It's about working with your energy, not against it.
So we've talked about taking action, breaking down goals, plugging energy leaks. What else is in Ngambele's 10 laws of success?
One that I found really powerful is the law of momentum. He says that once you start taking action, it becomes easier to keep taking action.
So it's like a snowball effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the keys to building that momentum is to create a routine that supports your goals.
So if you want to start exercising regularly, you might schedule your workouts in your calendar, like any other important appointment.
Right. Make it as easy as possible to follow through. And he also emphasizes the importance of celebrating those small wins along the way.
Oh yeah, we talked about that earlier. Those little celebrations can really boost your motivation.
He even suggests creating a success ritual, something you do to celebrate each win, no matter how big or small.
That's a great idea, like a little reward for all your hard work.
Exactly. And those rewards can help reinforce those positive actions and make it more likely that you'll keep going.
Wow, this has been such an inspiring deep dive. We've learned so much about the power of taking action, breaking down our goals, challenging our limiting beliefs, and building momentum. But if there's one key message you want our listener to take away from all of this, what would it be?
Action is the key to unlocking your potential. Don't wait for the perfect plan or the perfect moment. Just start where you are with what you have and take that first step.
Beautifully said. And to our listener out there, what's one small action you can take today to move closer to a goal you've been putting off? It doesn't have to be anything major, just one step in the right direction.
You got this. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all figuring it out as we go.
Absolutely. So to our listener, we challenge you, take that first step today and then take another one tomorrow. And keep taking action one step at a time. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Till next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep taking action.